Welcome to video 3 in Internet Marketing in an Hour a Day, and this one's about being a control freak. And you'll notice that we haven't actually gone onto your site yet, and the reason for that is that you need to lay the foundations. And being a control freak doesn't mean every single detail, but it does mean the important ones, and the really important one is use your own site as much as possible. Don't rely on free sites. It's very, very tempting to build up a YouTube channel or a bunch of Squidoo pages or anything else like that, but if you're doing that, you're actually laying on foundations of sand, or probably even quicksand nowadays. Facebook is all the rage. That's fine. Any of those are fine until the terms and conditions change. Squidoo seem to do it quite regularly. Google with YouTube or any other Google thing do it very regularly, and it's almost a constant that the terms and conditions of free sites will change. Partly because they have to adapt. But what it means is that something that was allowable last week, last year, whatever it happens to be, and is suddenly no longer allowable, causes you problems. And interestingly, using articles, we're digressing slightly, but not totally. Years ago, you used to allow a minimum of 250 words, and came back to edit one the other day that was quite a low word count on one of my pen names because the resource box URL had changed, and the article got rejected by the automatic system because the keyword density was too high. Had 6% keyword density. That was fine when I wrote it. It's no longer, so it failed that check, and I didn't get as far as it failing the word check, but it probably would have failed the word count as well. So I've got an article there that's grandfathered in, because to their credit, Easy Articles don't remove that. Squidoo will. They've locked lenses quite happily. Google have got rid of AdWords, AdSense accounts, both of those, and also YouTube accounts. There's sob stories about any of those. And because you're use any of those, it's bad. I'll come back onto that in a minute, but paid for services are a good second best. So in other words, if you Weebly, for instance, will allow you to pay for an upgraded thing. Vimeo will do the same for videos, so you buy an account. What you're doing with those is essentially buying the right to at least have someone to talk to. They might still have terms and policy changes, but if you're paying for a service, they've got every incentive to actually keep you paying for it rather than just cut you off. But initially, your own site on a domain name's roughly $10. Hosting, depending on who you use, between $5 and $10 a month, something in that region. It's a standard expense, pretty much as you'd rent a phone line, or put fuel in your car, or turn the lights on, or pay for your internet connection. It's just another expense of doing business. So don't try and cheapskate on that side of things. So free sites, and that could be YouTube, Easy Articles, Squidoo, Facebook, pretty much any of the other ones, Blogger. Use them only for support. Don't use them as your main business. Don't go pointing stuff at them. Use them to point back to your main site. So you'd put YouTube videos up, but you'd probably also put them somewhere else and host them on your own site, so that if YouTube ever decided to change the policies or do anything else, you'd still have the videos, whereas you'd have to be delving around your hard drive and thinking, where was that? Did I upgrade the computer in the meantime? Was it on the other machine because I've got a laptop as well as a desktop, etc.? Or was it a video that you uploaded from your phone and therefore has just been deleted because you ran out of space on your phone? So anything like that, Easy Articles use that support. Squidoo lenses, if you can get past their current quality control and produce one that will work, that's fine. And the other thing to do with free sites is use more than one for support. A bit like trying to ride a unicycle otherwise, and if for whatever reason the one site you're relying on disappears, that's been heard of, or changes terms and conditions, or goes whatever, and companies do disappear. If you think about computer terms, there's a lot that have come and gone. On the web years ago, Yahoo directory used to send traffic. Nowadays it doesn't. Open directory still seems to be a goal, but it doesn't really send anything. It doesn't even get indexed very often nowadays. certainly on the deeper pages. So even if whatever you're using is working at the moment, if it's 1 or even 2, you need to spread out a little bit. The ideal, at least 3, because a tripod's good. 4 or 5 better. And you might have different emphasis on different ones, that's fine. And personally I tend to use Easy in Articles more than most for my support, but I'll put articles elsewhere, and the plus with Easy in Articles is that they get used elsewhere anyway. That's YouTube. It's fine so long as I stay within Google's terms and conditions, which I do my best to do, but again that's definitely quicksand. So whatever works now may be different in a month or two's time, or a year or two's time. So you need to use more than one. And think about it, if you're using MySpace a few years ago for traffic, it almost doesn't exist. It's trying to reinvent itself, but it's been eclipsed by Facebook. But who's to say that in 5 or 10 years time Facebook will still be around or still be good? We don't know. We don't even know Google will be. You might do all your searching from a mobile phone, and therefore you wouldn't be using Google. So you need to have more than one string to your bow. And your main site you need to control. You need to control the domain name, and you're pretty much safe with most of the major domain name companies. The one I suggest is Namecheap. You'd be safe enough with GoDaddy, but they tend to freak a little bit if you get email spam complaints and things, and that's outside your control. But they'll treat it as though it's inside. So be careful on that one. But Namecheap seems to be pretty good. HostGator was the one that's recommended. They've just been bought out and service has gone downhill, so I wouldn't recommend those nowadays, but there are other ones that you can use. If you're still on HostGator, that's fine. Just be careful, be aware that you might need to change sooner rather than later. But be a control freak. Make sure that as much as possible is in your control, and then everything else is backup, and that you're not relying on those backups, so that should any of them disappear or reduce in importance or decide they don't like your face or the way you type or whatever else, you're not snookered. Okay, we'll see you in the next video.